Quella di stamattina è un'occasione davvero straordinaria e particolare al tempo stesso. Io non so quanti di voi hanno mai assistito a un connubio o quella che per gli addetti ai lavori si chiama una jazz poetry, cioè un connubio fra poesia e jazz, ma vi assicuro che quella di stamattina sarà un'occasione davvero straordinaria. Genny è parlavamo prima del titolo del progetto che si chiama Voci Migranti. Genny è nata negli Stati Uniti da una famiglia di immigrati cinesi. Agli inizi del secolo scorso c'è stata una grande ondata migratoria di cinesi negli Stati Uniti, erano famiglie che scappavano dalle guerre, dalla fame, dalle carestie, alla ricerca di una vita migliore in paesi più sviluppati. Non so se queste cose vi ricordano una situazione, se vi sono familiari queste storie, che ci sono familiari sia come paese e ci sono familiari anche per quello che stiamo vivendo in questo momento. E Genny quindi è cresciuta, è nata negli Stati Uniti, è cresciuta mettendo insieme queste due culture, che erano quelle della famiglia d'origine e quindi il mondo visto dalla piccola finestra di Chinatown, come scrive lei, e quello invece nella quale cresceva, soprattutto con i fratelli più grandi che le facevano ascoltare la musica rock, il jazz e tutto quello che avveniva negli Stati Uniti. Crescendo ha incontrato altre culture, perché questa curiosità di mettere insieme quindi il buddismo, l'induismo, la cultura nativoamericana, gli afroamericani, da cui viene questa grande passione per il jazz. Tutto questo insieme produce una miscela, secondo me, straordinaria di incontro di culture, di lingue, di religioni, di riferimenti culturali, che mi auguro che voi riusciate in qualche modo a seguire attraverso le sue poesie. Noi abbiamo scelto un gruppo di poesie da farvi ascoltare. Genny interagirà con Gaspare Di Lieto, che è un vecchio amico di Casa della Poesia, un musicista straordinario. Poi, se volete, possiamo insieme con Genny e con voi chiacchierare proprio dei concetti del progetto Voci Migranti che lei così bene rappresenta. Allora io vi auguro un buon ascolto.
In this foghorn moon of the fishhole alley, every night there's a derelict dog, mangy with a cataract stare, licking the wounds of old North Beach. Fish and chip, upchuck, cheesesteak, antipasti blasted against the antiseptic glare of trendy restaurants and glossy gelatos where MTV couples glide frozenly by, catching in the corners of their Ray-Ban eyes their own store-bought reflections. It ain't so bad. Sundry hookers trading their flesh made out of windows, doorways, orifices of the Europa glistening like fish. It ain't so bad. Winos and refugees, bag can ladies, Italians, tourists, punks, junkies, boat people, and runaways converging on this teeming waterhole where the corporate buffalo roams. Where the corporate buffalo roams. Civilization reeks of crab shells, cappuccino, and Kotex, and shocking orange and pink day glow, shopping bags ripped and spewing out the guts of Chinatown. Chinatown, my Chinatown, where the lights are low. They all come, the natives like homing pigeons, Midwesterners like homesteaders, Southerners like shipwrecked sailors, East Coasters like fugitives. Through the fog-laden cable cars, plummeting over Russian Hill backyards and narrow chopstick alleyways where camera-toting tourists eat cheap chop suey and snap blue-faced babies wide-eyed on their mamas' backs out of curiosity. It ain't so bad. The Indians once once said, as they traded their land for horses, as they traded their land for fire water. The coolies reasoned as they jumped ship, only to sweat with pickaxes and dynamite 20,000 feet from the Sierras like wet human laundry. Winter place, winter place, where the lights are low. It was the end of an era. Beneath, there were 7 of us under one roof. Morning till night, the house was filled with laughter, yelling, dancing, singing, and scolding, yes, and crying. For I did my fair share of feeling sorry for myself, brushing aside Niagara Falls under covers. In some dark cranny, I found a little book, government issued, ration book coupons. What are these? Koinomonia. She spoke no English, glanced at the book and grumbled, oh, recalling with sadness. During the war, we had to stand in food lines. Times were hard, not like nowadays. I remember FDR, the bombing of Pearl Harbor. You have no idea. Separate roofs. From morning till night, there's mostly silence, seldom tears. I surf the channels of my flat screen, grim news, layoffs, bankruptcies, foreclosures, unemployment, and mass murders. Looking back at those Bush years, I squint back the tears. She would have no idea who'd have made me. Yellow Moon. I am the daughter of seafarers, gold miners, quartz miners, railroad workers, farm workers, garment workers, factory workers, restaurant workers, laundrymen, houseboys, maids, scholars, rebels, gamblers, poets, and paper sons. I've seen my father's dreams brushed under bales of blouses. The buttonhole needle shattered as it lowered to the cloth, and a sliver flew into his eye, and a cacophony of sewing machines drowned my startled cry. I've heard my mother's prayers whispered as I lied awake, pretending not to see or hear. Mnemonic chants to her gods, chanting to her gods. Sicilian children skipped to catechism, mocked our tongues in sing-song syllables, called pop Chinaman and mom China woman, while I threw stones at Jesus. Yes, I did. The immigrants cursed our ways. Blood of Asia, their only children, flesh of the new world. That was our cross. Our cross. Our cross. I speak my mother's tongue. Koi, here, nim, there. Language is the boat that delivers memory across the ocean of times. And seasons, steady and strong, like hands that coax childbirth. With the duck eggs preserved in mud, with yolks, oranges, persimmon. Village cures for night sweats, nightmares, fainting, flatulence, among a cabal of sewing women. The mother tongue that shamed me, now archived in Yaqui and annotated bibliography with footnotes and diacritics for the dialects of extinctions that the keeper of tongues copyright for publication. Koi here, nim there, no English spoken here. The accent's gotta swing like an ox with its tail back and forth along the Pearl River Delta. Oh yeah, we were curious country folk who followed the crooked path to a yoked dream called Meikwa, beautiful country, like Ishi, frozen in time. They say we never left China. An earthly voice is wet on my tongue with its thick drawl, tasting of Jiubian. And a tip of lights on my upper palate, ascending and descending like a gull in a cave with its wings clipped. I wait and wait in the echoing gloom of post-mortem interrogations, nervous as the raven flies. A rice bin, a temple well, emptied of paper money, paper memory, tossed at sea. This is all she's left me, and the children were laid to rest behind locked doors with graffiti etched in couplets of despair. And the night moon parsed its golden light of words. I will cross the barrier. What is your name? Thank you, Matnanga. Where and when were you born? Neiki Si Chutsaya. How many houses in a row? Kiabokondina. Koi, here, Nim, there. Mother watches like a barn owl under the drooped lid of the moon. She dreams of fireflies under the bridge, of capturing their flickering light. She dreams of wolves and seals swimming swift and steady across the frozen channel to survive. Koi, here, Nim, there. Koi, here, Nim, there. Homeless. 60 miles an hour. Among the severed limbs and down branches and pine cones, a little empty nest. Where have all the eggs gone? Where's the mother? Their fragile membrane shattered, swept across the harsh unknown. A homeless man in a hooded jacket sits on a bench, and he stares at the ground, oblivious to the strolling couples waving, walking hand in hand, and the skateboarders and the children whizzing by on scooters, bicycles, and tricycles, watched over by their doting moms and dads. What has been his life before? The bulging sack by his side tells all. It is all that belongs to him and all that he belongs to. He sits in a shell, visible to passers-by. Another casualty in the storm. Another life unborn. Lamento. Where goes tomorrow? Where goes tomorrow? Tomorrow is gone. Tomorrow is gone. Death to the man alive, who is deaf to the blind. I say death to the man alive, who is blind to his death. Tomorrow is dying. Tomorrow is dying. Is the hour of night, which pierces our eyes, but red is the blood of our bones, which flows from mother to son, mother to child. Tomorrow is dying. Tomorrow is dying inside me now. God save our children from history, from repeating the terrible lies. God save the promise of dawn from selling out. Save our children all alone now. God save tomorrow from today, yes. God save tomorrow from today. God save truth from infamy. God save truth from money. God save truth from television and its lies. This made-for-TV reality is not for me. This made-for-TV reality is just God's not for me. Then God save truth from religions. God save truth from genocide. By whom shall a knower be known? By whom shall a knower be known? Let fortune smile upon your eyes. Let fortune smile upon you before you die. Where goes the air? Where goes the wind? Where goes fire? Where goes breath? Where goes mind? Where goes time? Where goes tomorrow? If today never comes, well, today never comes. Where? Soldier fortune. Don't apologize for what you've done. It was the officer's gun that sealed your life, and the cutting wind that followed your breath into the back streets of blackness. Down, down you dove into the vortex of vanishing days, laughing, sighing as you confessed your childish logic of love to conquer the madness and the fear, whatever wounds, regrets, and misfortunes that stole your youth. Don't regret what might have been, but what was not. It's the shape of the moon that dictates the tides. It is a gulf that lies between heaven and earth, forever shimmering, haunting, distant, lonely passage. So don't apologize for dying. You know, survival's only a bullet between freedom and exile. Freedom's only a leap between faith, what is, and what can never be, because our lives are the martyr jealous gods. History knows they don't care nothing about your hopes or my the taking. Oh no, don't repeat or interpret the words twisted by sinister tongues. Better to unlock the cage that turns rage into justice. Two people like you and I will never be equal to that task of liberation if we cannot lift the heavy burden of our shadows from our hearts, or remove the blindfold of acquiescence from our eyes. Freedom, freedom. And our last poema, Gospel in the Lead.
Buongiorno. Allora, volevo chiedere perché la scelta della musica? Perché l'accompagnamento con la musica?
Yes, because I try to let people understand that poetry is music. Its basics come from music, its origins come from music. In fact, the original poets were bards, storytellers who sang their stories, their poetry.
Thank you.
Like rap, right? Rap music is storytelling in music, a different form of music.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for this performance.
You're welcome.
Because it was fantastic and I loved it.
Oh,
And my question is, who are your influences and what is your thought about the music and the emotions? So that is the influence.
As you know, I like to work with musicians, especially good musicians, because they have good ears. And I like to bring back, as I was saying, the tradition of oral tradition. And because so much is, when we started reading, everything is like, it's stuck in the head, which it becomes, literature becomes purely an intellectual exercise. Maybe you need to translate some of this. Give this to you.
Avete bisogno di traduzione oppure riuscite a seguire?
Oh, okay. You don't need a translation. Okay, so so my influences actually go all the way back to my mother, who she didn't speak any English, and she used to use a lot of chanting. It was just the old indigenous tradition. And she was very superstitious, so she had a lot of chants for things like if you had a hole in your clothes, she would have to, while she was sewing it on you, she would have to chant to ward off the evil spirits. She had chants to put us to sleep, and I listened, they took me to the Cantonese opera many times, so I heard a lot, and all of Cantonese opera is sung, right? Sung storytelling. And I hated it at the time because I liked American music, but I think the influence of sung narrative, like if you go back to literature, Beowulf and all, it has a very rhythmic, musical, metrical forms. The Iliad, the Homer, they're, it's very musical forms to me. So I know that a lot of people don't like poetry because they think it's, it's a little bit too abstract. And so by bringing in the music, it sort of brings in people so that they can hear the music, they can listen to the ideas, and they can get it on a sensory level through their ears and eyes as well as through the intellect. So the mission is to communicate as much as possible to the greater audience, not just the people who can process literature and through the mind, but people who respond maybe more through hearing and sound. So it's through sound and ideas coming together, and to bring more attention to the themes that I write about, which are very often very political and social, but not, I don't think, in a propagandistic way.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, do you think that poetry can have a cathartic function? That poetry can free us from problems by society too?
Do I think poetry is cathartic and can solve? Yes, absolutely. I was just thinking yesterday that after performing that, I realized that poetry is where I have the most freedom as a person. It's through my poetry that I feel I succeed best in communicating what I'm about and how I think and how I feel about the world. In social situations, oftentimes, you just go, on appearances and you try to be nice or whatever, and you engage and you do interact, but through my the poetry, I think I can connect best to who I really am and want to say to people. So absolutely, it's cathartic, but I hope not in any kind of a self-absorbing, narcissistic way. That at least I try to be inclusive in what I talk about, and not just venting for personal anger or anything. I try the tradition of storytelling originally was very collective, and poets never just started their poems with I. If you look at Native American, African, it's always, assumes the collective I. And so that's, I try to follow that and not be always self-absorbed.
As a teenager, did you ever expect to get to the point where you are now, going to school, showing your art?
Good question. Absolutely not, because in my family they're working class immigrants, and to tell my parents I'm going to be a poet would be like I'm going to be a bum, I'm not, so I always secretly harbored being an artist, but publicly I always told them I'm going to be a teacher, and then they were very happy with that. And so it was a very closet activity, my poetry. Even I think to the day my father understood more than my mother, but she still, felt that my main identity was a teacher, because I taught at the university and they liked that. And the other things were just hobbies. Poetry was just a hobby. So I didn't get that much support for what I'm doing, and as sort of, I think because I like to try a lot of different things. Eventually, poetry and poetry with music found me rather than I finding it.
Hi. How many languages you know? And have you ever wrote a poem in your mother language?
Oh, that'd be very difficult. I've tried writing some poems like that, and I always end up having to translate every word. So it's really hard, and because the language I speak is really dying. And that's why I talked about that poem, Mother Tongue, because even in China now, the dialect I speak is considered archaic. It'd be like you listening to, Shakespeare or something, someone talking like that. Because a camera crew came from China to interview me and wanted me to speak in my dialect, and I started to speak, and then the young fellow in the camera crew, the sound person, he just looked really startled. He said, I've never heard anyone talk like that since my grandmother died, So when my parents immigrated, they took that language, and it became kind of frozen in the U.S. And then they kind of evolved in the U.S. differently than the language in China. So he said, "Wow, I've never heard that slang." It's like he was just amazed. So. Because now Mandarin has become the standard spoken dialect. The written language is always the same, but the spoken language is standard Mandarin. So even the young people from my area, a lot of them they've lost the dialect too. If their grandparents are dead, then they don't speak it.
Because this morning, your guitars, the sound of your hair, at a great emotion. Thank you, grazie al maestro Prieto, perché davvero la musica del piano era in così perfetta sintonia con la musica del cuore di D, che ci ha regalato delle emozioni straordinarie. It's the first time I hear your sound. che per quelli che sono riusciti ad entrare in sintonia questa mattina con questa straordinaria poetessa, ma anche con questo straordinario musicista, è stata un'occasione per dar voce ad emozioni che hanno scavato nel profondo. Mi auguro che per ciascuno di voi queste cose possano poi diventare oggetto di riflessione anche con i vostri docenti e che possano essere riprese, riascoltate, ripensate. Quindi lavorateci sopra. Buon lavoro.